Welcome, curious minds, to the deep dive.
Yeah.
Have you ever felt that quiet pull of destiny? Maybe a recurring dream that just, lingers? Or perhaps a path opening up that you just feel you're meant to follow?
Yeah, that inner calling.
Yeah.
That's exactly what we're going to unpack today.
And that's really our mission here, isn't it? To unravel these big ideas, pull out those key insights from the sources you share with us, and make them really resonate for your life.
Absolutely. Today, we're taking a deep dive into Paulo Coelho's The Alchemist.
It's really more than just a book. I mean, it's this huge international phenomenon, translated into, what, 56 languages?
That's right, 56. Millions and millions of copies sold, touching everyone from, well, presidents to movie stars. People always ask, what's the secret? Why this book?
Exactly. And that's what we want to get into. We'll guide you through its wisdom, which is somehow profound, but also quite simple.
Deceptively simple, maybe. We want to offer a shortcut, you could say, to understanding why it connects so deeply and what its secret might mean for you personally.
I remember reading somewhere that the American publisher described reading it. It was like getting up at dawn and seeing the sun rise while the rest of the world still slept.
Wow.
Yeah. That phrase alone, for me, it just hints at the kind of awakening the book offers. So, shall we dive in, start unpacking this journey?
Let's do it. It actually starts with this really intriguing prologue. It retells the Narcissus legend, but with a twist.
Oh, yeah.
Instead of the lake weeping for Narcissus's lost beauty when he drowns, Coelho writes that the lake weeps because it misses seeing its own beauty reflected in Narcissus's eyes.
Wow, okay. That's a subtle shift, but it feels significant. What's that telling us right from the start about self-discovery in this book?
Well, I think it sets the stage perfectly. It suggests that maybe we don't just find ourselves by looking inward. Sometimes it's about seeing ourselves reflected back by the world, by others, by our experiences.
So it's reciprocal. We discover ourselves through the world, and the world, in a way, discovers itself through us.
Exactly. It hints at this interconnectedness that runs all the way through Santiago's journey.
Okay, so after that prologue, we meet Santiago. He's this young shepherd boy. His parents wanted him to be a priest, but he chooses travel instead. He wants to see the world.
Right, and his big catalyst is this recurring dream he keeps having, a dream about treasure hidden near the Egyptian pyramids.
And this dream leads us straight to one of the book's absolute core ideas, the personal legend.
Yes. Coelho defines it as what you have always wanted to accomplish. He says everyone knows their personal legend when they're young, but then, well, life happens.
A mysterious force convinces them it's impossible.
Exactly. That mysterious force, it's so relatable because it feels true for so many people.
So how does Coelho break down the obstacles? What stops us from following that legend?
He lays out four main ones, and they're quite insightful. First, there's just this belief we pick up, often in childhood, that everything we want to do is impossible.
Yeah, the be realistic kind of thing.
Right. And over time, fear, prejudice, maybe even guilt, they just bury that calling. It gets harder and harder to even hear it.
Okay, what's the second obstacle? This one surprised me a bit.
Love. Or rather, the fear connected to love. The fear of hurting the people you care about by, leaving everything behind to chase a dream.
But the book flips that, doesn't it?
It does. It argues true love should be an impetus, a driving force. If someone truly loves you, they'll support your journey because your fulfillment adds to the world, in a sense.
Okay, number 3.
The fear of defeats. Failure. When you're really putting your heart into something, failing hurts more, doesn't it?
Definitely.
But Coelho brings in that proverb, to fall 7 times and to get up 8 times. Overcoming setbacks isn't just about bouncing back. It actually builds this deeper confidence, this euphoria even.
Fall 7, get up 8. I like that.
Right.
Okay, and the last one, you said it's almost paradoxical.
It really is. He calls it the most dangerous. The fear of realizing the dream.
Fear of success.
Exactly. Self-sabotage kicks in. Often right when you're like just a step away, it's feeling unworthy, maybe guilty about succeeding. But the book says if you embrace your worthiness, you actually become an instrument of God. You help the soul of the world.
That's a powerful idea. Becoming an instrument. How do you actually do that? How do you tap into that worthiness?
Well, it seems like it comes from the act of pursuing the dream, not waiting until you feel worthy. Santiago's journey starts with these little nudges, these omens and guides. First, he talks to a gypsy woman about the dream.
Right. She interprets it treasure at the pyramids, and her fee is 1/10 of the treasure if he finds it.
And she drops some wisdom, too. Dreams are the language of God, and it's the simple things in life that are the most extraordinary. Simple, but profound.
Then, soon after, he meets this mysterious old man. King Melchizedek.
Yeah, the king of Salem. What's amazing is how the king just knows things about Santiago. His parents, the seminary, even the name of a girl Santiago likes, which Santiago himself didn't know the king knew.
That must have been jarring, but also validating.
Totally validating. It's like the universe saying, yes, pay attention to this dream. And Melchizedek gives him that cornerstone idea. When you want something, all the universe conspires in helping you to achieve it.
The big one.
The big one. He also talks about the principle of favorability, beginner's luck, how life gives you a little taste of success early on to kind of hook you in, to encourage you.
Right. And he gives Santiago the stones Urim and Thummim for reading omens, but with a warning.
Yes. Try to make your own decisions. Don't just blindly follow signs. Use them, but stay in the driver's seat. And then he tells that story, the one about the oil spoon.
Ah, yes. See the marvels of the world, but don't forget the drops of oil on the spoon. Balance awareness and responsibility.
Precisely. It's about keeping your purpose in mind while experiencing everything life offers.
So armed with all this, Santiago heads off and promptly hits his first major wall in Tangier.
Oh, yeah. He gets robbed, loses everything almost immediately. Total despair. He thinks God is unfair. Maybe the whole journey was a mistake.
Been there. That feeling of, why me?
Right. But then he remembers the king's words. He remembers the stones, even though they seem useless now. And it helps him shift his view. He has this realization.
I see the world in terms of what I would like to see happen, not what actually does. That's huge. Accepting reality, not just wishing it were different.
It's a turning point. He decides not to be a victim. He finds work with a crystal merchant. And there he learns patience and also this language without words.
What's that about?
It's like the energy you put out, enthusiasm, love, purpose, people pick up on it without you saying anything. His enthusiasm actually helps the merchant's business thrive.
But the merchant himself is kind of a counterpoint, isn't he?
A very powerful one. The merchant dreams of going to Mecca, has dreamed of it his whole life, but he's afraid to actually do it.
Why?
Because he thinks if he achieves his dream, he'll have nothing left to live for. It's the dream itself that keeps him going, not the reality of it.
Wow. And he says something chilling. Every blessing ignored becomes a curse.
Yeah. That's a serious warning for us, for the listener, right? Holding on to a dream just as a dream, never acting on it. It can become this heavy weight. Are you carrying a dream like that?
Oof. Good question.
Right.
Okay, so Santiago eventually leaves the crystal shop and joins a caravan heading across the desert. More teachers appear.
Right. There's the Englishman, who's all about learning alchemy from books, very intellectual, a contrast to Santiago's learn-by-doing style. But they're both searching for this universal language.
The camel driver, he seems really grounded.
Very grounded. He teaches Santiago about living in the present, about acceptance, not fearing the unknown because, as he says, our life stories and the history of the world were written by the same hand.
Maktub, it is written.
Maktub, it ties into this idea of the soul of the world. The book suggests everything, rocks, plants, animals, thoughts, everything has a soul, and they're all connected in this one great soul.
And this soul actively helps you if you're pursuing your personal legend.
That's the idea. It conspires with you, not a passive universe, it's alive, responsive.
Then in the oasis, Santiago meets Fatima.
Ah, Fatima. Love arrives, and it's instant. Wordless understanding. True connection.
But she doesn't hold him back, does she?
No, quite the opposite. As a woman of the desert, she understands waiting, she understands destiny. She encourages him to continue his quest, believing that if it's meant to be, he'll return. True love doesn't impede a personal legend.
Okay, so love isn't an obstacle here, it's fuel.
Hmm.
Then comes the alchemist himself.
Finally. But his appearance is tied to a test. Santiago has this vision. A hawk attacks another hawk, and he interprets it as an omen of an army attacking the oasis.
So that takes guts, telling the tribal chieftain something they don't want to hear.
Huge guts. He risks his life. And the alchemist appears partly because of that courage. He tells Santiago, courage is the quality most essential to understanding the language of the world.
And this leads to the biggest test of all, turning himself into the wind.
The ultimate test. He has to speak to the desert, the wind, the sun elements of the soul of the world. He has to tap into that universal connection.
And the key is love.
Love is the key. Love is the force that transforms and improves the soul of the world. And this incredible line, when we strive to become better than we are, everything around us becomes better too.
So by striving, by connecting through love, he accesses something deeper.
Exactly. He realizes his soul is part of the soul of God. He connects to everything, and that allows him to, well, seemingly perform a miracle. The alchemist clarifies the real goal isn't turning lead into gold.
It's personal transformation,
Yeah.
the inner alchemy.
Precisely. He points out many seek the treasure of their legend, but don't want to actually live the legend. The journey is the transformation.
As Santiago gets closer to the pyramids, the alchemist gives him one last piece of advice, almost a warning.
Yeah, about how the victor's being severely tested right before the end. The darkest hour of the night came just before the dawn.
Yeah.
Don't give up when it gets hardest, basically. The breakthrough is near.
And then
Yeah.
the pyramids. He gets there. He weeps. The scare beetle appears, an omen. He starts digging.
And disaster again.
Right. Robbers beat him up, take the little gold the alchemist gave him. But as they leave, one of them mocks him, saying he had a recurring dream, too, about treasure buried under a sycamore tree in the ruins of an old church in Spain, where a shepherd and his sheep often slept.
No way.
Yes, the exact spot where Santiago's journey began. The robber dismissed his own dream, but in telling it, reveals the true location of Santiago's treasure.
That's incredible. The irony, the full circle.
The perfect ending, really. He had to take the entire journey, learn all the lessons, transform himself, just to find out the physical treasure was back home all along.
But he wouldn't have known or been ready for it without the journey.
Exactly. He goes back, digs up the chest of gold and jewels, and understands how life supports those who follow their personal legend. And then, that beautiful final touch, the wind from the Levant, carries the scent of Fatima's perfume and her kiss.
Ah, a promise of return. Love endures.
So, wrapping this all up, what does this incredible journey mean for you listening right now?
Well, I think the alchemist is just this powerful, gentle nudge. Listen to your heart. Pay attention to those little signs, the omens. Find the courage to embrace your personal legend.
Understand that there's this language connecting everything, the soul of the world. And know that true love, real connection, it helps you on your path. It doesn't hinder it.
Right, it propels you.
So as you go about your day-to-day, maybe take a moment. Think about your own personal legend. Is there a dream you've tucked away? Maybe because you fear failure? Or maybe even fear success?
Are you listening? Are you hearing those quiet whispers from your heart? Noticing the small synchronicities, the omens in your everyday life that might be gently guiding you.
Santiago's biggest lesson, perhaps, was that the real treasure wasn't just the gold. It was the journey itself, the transformation, coming back to who he truly was, but changed. So maybe ask yourself, what small step, guided by your heart, can you take today towards your own personal legend?